Hi Virgo, welcome or welcome back. This is going to be your reading for January of 2021. Let's get into your reading. Okay, good. Okay, cool. Weird, but cool. So the general energy for your reading is the King of Cups in the reverse, followed by the Ace of Cups in the reverse, and the Queen of Cups, followed by the Page of Cups. Okay, so like, who's in their feelings this month, Virgo? Who's in their feelings? It's also followed by the Devil and the High Priestess. So you might be learning about other people's secrets or just getting into like the root of other people's hidden lives is kind of the feeling I'm getting. With this King of Cups, I mean, the caution is always just try not to repress your emotions and you'll be fine. So what I'm kind of seeing going on in this spread is really, really interesting, Virgo. There's a lot of growth happening really rapidly for you. There's a lot of healing and like detachment and 111 forgiveness for yourself that you're finding this month. There is a decision that I see this cycle this month is going to be kind of culminating too, but let's go into each card and I'll go back and clarify at the end of this reading and see what the fuck's going on. So right now you are coming through as the Lovers reversed. Okay, so this is not my favorite card. I won't lie to you. This is my favorite card to show up in the reverse position. And the only reason for that is because in the upright, the Lovers really does talk about like showing up authentically. It talks about showing up in like how you would like to be seen in the world. In the reverse, it kind of talks about settling for less sometimes or just not really being your full self. This can just be a feeling of, that's what it is, rejection. Like there's a sense that I'm getting from this spread of like not really feeling like your wholeness is acceptable in some way, or there's some part of who you are that is shelved. So your main challenge right now is the Hierophant. So 222, you might be having a difficult time with conventional rules right now. You might be having a really challenging time getting to like following things by the book. I'm kind of feeling like maybe part of what this is that the rules that have been working up until this point, they just like no longer apply. This can be one of those situations where it's like the terrain is changing very quickly. And so it's hard to like get your, what is it called? Your grappling hook or your crampons in for long enough to understand where it is that you're standing and then map it out. Because what's hidden from you and you may not even realize it. Yeah, 8 of Wands. So you're moving really quickly. There's a very, very quick transition. A lot of change is happening for you. So there, you know, this card also kind of talks about losing yourself. This card talks about losing yourself in the process. So it's like you're kind of just in this place where you're waiting for things to level out so that you can make a move. And that, I feel like this is just one of those situations that might just be completely out of your control. I just saw 333. In your recent past, I'm seeing some forgiveness coming in, but also like maybe some deceptive energies. This is a little bit strange, but Virgo, I kind of am wondering with your conscious goal as this beautiful 9 of Pentacles, wanting to like be good on your own, girl, you know, you just don't want to really like be bothered with it. What I'm wondering is if you didn't turn your back on something because you had to put on a false persona in order to be there. And maybe a part of you genuinely thought that this situation was what you wanted. And just now you're realizing that the rules and the structures that are at play in this situation ain't it. You know, you're looking around and you're like, man, okay, this ain't it. So that little bit of maybe self-dishonesty that was happening in the past is kind of like coming to a head and you're like, okay, well, you know, shit, 444, what do I do now? We are going to go back and clarify these cards because I do feel more to this story. I just don't know what it is yet. In your immediate future, I'm seeing a lot of success and happiness for you. So like this is really good. Whatever like you're moving away from, maybe again, like this feels like it's not really within your control. It just kind of feels like the universe is like, okay, here you go. Learn how to swim and then we'll catch up later. And then you do catch up and there's a lot of like blessings that flow into you. So what's supporting your reading? Ten of Pentacles. Your gifts right now, you're really good at building community. You're really good at building a foundation and like a legacy and something that will outlive you. This is about sort of thinking about, you know, what sort of things do you commit to today that you might not see come to fruition, but you're okay with that. I really am getting the sense that like there's a rejection of something here, pardon me, in this picture. And it's really, really good that you're rejecting it. It's really, really good that maybe, you know, you're presenting that false face so that you can like do all of your work of like 555 changing your internal world so that you can actually sort of take your energy and put it towards this. Again, it's kind of hard to say. Let's see, with your hopes and fears right now, strength in the reverse. This is a bit like, I'm getting the feeling like, Virgo, you may be feeling quite insecure. And I want to just acknowledge to you that that is a very valid emotion, because if this spread is for you, if this reading is for you, and from what I'm seeing in these cards is for you, you're going through a lot. And it might just be a little bit exhausting. So I can understand that like you're hoping that you have the inner strength to get you through to the next phase, but you're also a little bit afraid, like, what if it's always like this? It's very interesting. I don't think it will be, but it's very interesting. So the people around you are kind of seeing you as young, maybe a little bit gossipy, maybe a little bit like, hey, let's exchange information, but like never really like do too much more than that. Fun loving, but also somebody who is really, really committed to getting to learning. Actually, outcome of this cycle for you is the Two of Swords. Okay, so you have to make a decision about whatever this is that you've detached from or need to detach from that is limiting your capacity to show up in your authentic self. There is a need that you arrive at to really get a deeper understanding of why or how or like what's really going on. Like I said, those crampons digging in and like rooting down and being like, okay, when I'm allowing my emotions to flow, because again, you know, you might be a little bit emotionally constipated right now. Once the emotions start to flow again, like what is it that your heart is telling you about the situation? So let's go in and clarify, what's this King of Cups about for Virgo? Okay, so there you are. So this is you. So the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse again, and the Empress and the Sun reverse. Oh, okay. So this is very, very, this is kind of sad energy to me, just because it's like, I wonder about just the relationship to your body, maybe, or to pleasure, maybe, or to food, you know, just nourishment, how you really fill up your tank. I see this Nine of Pentacles and I usually am like, this is someone who wants to remain aloof. This is someone who wants to like, just, you know, don't get too close. And you might have your reasons for doing that, but the way that it's showing up here is very interesting. It's kind of like you recognize that there, you know, again, I'm just feeling like this whole thing is like you had to detach from something, and this is me just affirming for you, like, yes, it was a good idea. Because it wasn't really making you happy. It wasn't giving you that deep joy. It was just kind of like a surface patina, you know? It was just like a nice sheen that would wash away with a little bit of soap. So that makes a lot of sense. Go into this Seven of Swords for you, Virgo. Let's see what it's doing here. If this isn't you, by the way, this could be another earth sign, so it could be a Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn. All right. So I've got the Three of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups reversed, and the King of Wands. Okay. So this isn't you. This is like you and a group of people working on something. I feel like not everybody was on the same page. I feel like not everyone was communicating from like a place of honesty, maybe. Or maybe there's kind of a feeling where like there's two parties here aside from yourself. And it just kind of feels like there was someone who was really trying to like be in command of the situation. There's someone who's trying to emotionally manipulate the facts of a situation to get their way. And I feel like there was just like a lot of like tension there. There was just a lot of like everyone was trying to get a leg up on everybody else without really being super open about what it was or what was bothering them. So it looks like it created a lot of problems, a lot of issues around like, how do you trust each other now? How do you communicate and feel like you're being heard? It's very interesting. Let's go to this Lovers in your current situation. Okay, so I've got the Magician, I've got the Hierophant again, and the Nine of Cups. What are you so dissatisfied with, Virgo? What is this thing that's like leaving a really bad taste in your mouth? It's like the way that you maybe like, as an earth sign, you're very grounded, right? And Virgo, you fucking have this thing where it's like the way that you do things is a result of like having done it enough times and founding like the one system that works. But your system is like no longer satisfying you. So it's like, with this Magician, you're trying to manifest something like by the book, but really not feeling happy about it. Like really not feeling like it is an authentic expression of who you are anymore. So like, it's a little bit of a challenge probably to, especially with this situation, with this miscommunication and like this feeling of distrust that's kind of around you. It's like, well, yeah, things aren't showing up, honestly, because the way that you're doing things isn't bringing you joy anymore. It's just not bringing you satisfaction anymore. If that's not it, it could also just be a case of just feeling like, yeah, I'm actually just going to leave that at that. Let's go to this Hierophant for you and see what this is doing here. Okay, Six of Swords, Full Reverse, and the Four of Wands. I think you said no to something, first of all. I think you turned your back on something. Something or someone. Some sort of a false start happened here with this Hierophant. Yeah, I think this is pretty cut and dry. It's like your sense of like what's worth committing to is like you looked at something and you were like, yeah. It is showing up as a good thing, when we really get into these energies, it is a good thing. It's not a bad thing at all. Let's go to your conscious goal here with this Nine of Pentacles. You're feeling yourself. What is going on with this Nine of Pentacles for Virgo? Okay, so I've got the Eight of Swords in the reverse. I've got the Five of Swords in the reverse. And I've got the Page of Swords. Yeah, you kind of are like, I just want to come out on top, even though I know that there's no situation where everybody ends up being happy. This does kind of feel like it's a stalemate situation. Like there's no real way to make everybody happy is what I think you're learning. And so it's like, again, this might be coming right back down to this thing of like really wanting to be palatable, 1414, but it's just like no longer applicable to you. It's like, now that it's like, you can't make everybody happy. So you're not going to try, basically. You're not going to be feeling restricted by those expectations that people are putting on you. This is kind of great. It's not a super mature energy, like at the end of the day, it's like, it's a Page of Swords. Like it's a new idea. It's a new understanding of this concept, but it is showing up as like a very healthy thing for you. So let's see what this Eight of Wands is all about for you down here in hidden energies. What's being hidden from Virgo this month? Okay, so I've got Two of Wands, Two of Pentacles, and the Four of Swords in reverse. Okay, so you might be overthinking it a little bit. There might be, you know what this is it's like, that thing that I was talking about with trying to do things by the book and it not working. This is just really kind of talking more specifically about having like one vision. If you've ever heard of like there's this fabulous human, who of course I'm not going to remember the name of because we're just in a different land right now, but talks about like how when your vision is like singular, like with one eye, like a cyclops, if you lose that eye, you're blind. So it's very important for you to have two things or three things or five things or multiple basically perspectives that you can pull upon in order to resolve issues. That's kind of what I'm seeing happening here is like you're starting to be like, okay, well, the one thing that I was doing is like clearly it's not working. So I need to like broaden my horizons a little bit. I am seeing like that there may be like a little bit of overthinking with this again. Just in terms of you're waiting for the right sort of modality or the right sort of way to move with these things to come your way. But the fact is you're kind of like doing it already. So that's cool. That's super cool. Let's go to this Ten of Pentacles. This is really like a lot of growth for you, Virgo. This is kind of cool. I wouldn't want to be in your work situation or your situation that this is talking about, but I do see that it's teaching you a lot about the way that, you know, you create meaning out of the world, which is quite cool. So let's go to this Ten of Pentacles. Okay, I've got the Ten of Pentacles again, but in the reverse this time. Page of Wands and the Devil. Page of Wands was reversed, of course. And this Two of Cups is like continually showing up on the bottom of the deck for your reading too. So like emotionally intense and involved situations, which are inescapable. We love that for you. So there might be, yeah, this is just like, there's some sort of this toxic situation, toxic community. It's kind of showing up like that. It's kind of like the desire of like my way or the highway is like the foundations of that just kind of are not working anymore. And there might be like a lot of restlessness around that. It might just be like, why isn't it happening already kind of energy. Like there's a timeline that I feel like you maybe put on yourself. And you know what, like subconsciously, I think we believe that we should be in certain places at certain times. And subconsciously, I think that we also have in our heads that like, oh, if it's a 10-year goal, then, you know, I have 10 years to make it happen, instead of believing that it's already happening, you know, on a timeline that is here, you know, in 5-dimensional reality, it's already here. So this is very, very interesting because I think there was a lot of dialogues that you were telling where you're being quite hard on yourself about like, okay, why isn't it here? Why isn't it here? Why isn't it here? And I was like, it is here. It's just not in this current moment. So if that kind of makes sense. So this is really, I'm seeing like you kind of like severing ties with reality in a really healthy way. Consensual reality. I mean, like I didn't consent to this reality, did you? No. So that's really cool. Let's clarify this Two of Swords, and then I'm going to get a oracle card to wrap up your reading, and that will be it for you, Virgo. Okay, so Seven of Swords in reverse again, and the Hermit reversed, there you are, and the Ten of Cups again, and then this one was the Nine of Wands. Interesting. Yeah, let your guard down, girl. It's like really forgiving yourself for maybe just being isolated, you know? It's more like you may be so inundated with like community responsibilities and like community obligations, or again, like the perspectives that other people are kind of putting on you, that you haven't really had the time that you need to go inward and just think, just process your life. And I see you just kind of doing that. I see you just kind of like taking that step back that you might need and being like, okay, well, this isn't making me happy. So how do I make it happy? How do I make it work for me again? It's cool stuff. So let's wrap this up. What else do I got for you here for this month, Virgo? Jaguar. Very cool. Totally. Alrighty, Jaguar energy. The essence of this card is the protector of all life in the Amazon, and in times of fear, she brings courage and certainty. Jaguar is at the top of the food chain and never becomes prey. With great stealth, she can track her mark from the distance and not be seen or heard. She moves gracefully through the jungle, relishing the abundance of the forest, fearless and at ease. Jaguar knows the ways beyond death. Yeah, and is the master of the shadows, blending invisibly between the light and the dark, the night and the day. Totally. You're learning maybe how to like have control just from behind the scenes a little bit more, you know? Jaguar calls you to explore beyond the walls that confine you, to go outside of your normal routine, to push your limits and boundaries. She is delivering an invitation from your own future to investigate the unknown, to venture into the mystery of the dark places you've been reluctant to explore. Toss all caution to the wind. Know that your Jaguar instinct will serve you well. Okay. That is what I have for you, Virgo. I really hope that this reading helps. I hope that you have a great month, and I will talk to you real soon. Take care.